You want to make money over a long period of time for your entire life versus making money for next week.
Smart.
So can you think about, and I'm talking to the people watching this, can you think about creating a system of learning and implementation so you can reap the benefits even 10, 20 years from now, even when there's a bear market?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Connecting the Dots. And I'm very excited today because we have an amazing guest who's also very famous on YouTube. His name is Prateek Singh from LearnApp. And recently I've been seeing a lot of his videos on the YouTube channel as well, especially you would have seen it with Tanmay. But the way they've explained complicated techniques in a simple way is what I would say. But again, I'm very happy to have you, Prateek, on this podcast to understand your journey and how you have connected the dots.
No, dude, Shashank, thanks for inviting me, man. Like, I first heard about you when I had people in the office who were huge fans of Avalon and you and what Varun is doing. So it's just such an honor that we have this. This is just super cool.
So this is great. I love starting a node when I can talk to founders and get into their journey of how they connected the dots. So I know for a fact you're a trader, right? You trade a lot. Now, I want to know this journey of how you became a trader, because every trader has a story, right? And how they landed up in stock market or how they landed up trading. So I want to know your journey and how you started off.
So I think anyone's obsessed about something. It's like any love story. It's love at first sight. You start off, you're super excited. You have high highs, lower lows, and then you have heartbreak for many, many years until it's mended. Right? So same thing with trading. I was born in Abu Dhabi, moved to Africa, Singapore, Malaysia, and then we came to India, Chanakyapuri, Delhi. And this is in 2007. And dad opened a ICICI brokerage account. And this is the time, dude, Shashank, when, there's no Chrome. It's a web-based platform. You're refreshing the page to know what the price of Infosys is.
And this is intraday trading.
Yeah, this is intraday.
Not long term, yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't start long term back then. I should have had some portfolio, I think, in 2007. I was lucky enough, Shashank, to short the 2007 fall with a contract called Mini Nifty. It used to cost 13,000 rupees. It is a 20 share lot of Nifty. So that's what happened. And the market crashed and we covered and we got some return out of that. That's how trading started. But it started not as a hobby. It started with the objective to start a hedge fund when I grow older. This is because of dad, right? Dad's had one thing. He's like, the most expensive thing you'll be able to buy when you are old is free time. And you don't want to do something where you are exchanging time for money, right?
Wow.
That if I work 8 hours, I get paid for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Is it possible to work for half an hour and get paid for 10,000 hours? So you have to do something with leverage. All the Naval fans out there will understand what I'm talking about. So he thought that hedge fund is one way to do that, where you're leveraging money over a long period of time with over the stock market. And I was happy to see all these hedge fund managers topping the Forbes 100, 400 list, making all this money. I said, dude, there has to be something to this that you have to figure out. Trading was always going on, right? The first 3, 4, 5 years made no money. You would make money, lose it, right? When I say no net profit, right? You made money, then lost, made money, then lost. To Delhi, then just continue to trade, man, and learned a lot of ways to trade by using just online forums, learning on the internet. There was no place to learn, right? I mean, trading is not something you do for a living. And every uncle was like, "Aap CA kyun nahi karte ho?"
I'll tell you what, this is a funny thing. I'll just divert a little bit here. I went for CPT classes 1 year to give the entrance exam. And on the day of the exam, it was on a Sunday. I actually slept. I didn't go for it because I was not interested. Okay. And I learned 1 year of CPT. I learned the basics. I learned everything. And I was doing commerce only, right, at the same time. And then I didn't go give the exam.
These are the things which build stories, right? If you had gone and given the exam, you would never tell me this.
If I had gone and given the exam, I think my trajectory would have been something else only.
Also thinking about connecting the dots, right? There were friends of mine who said, why don't you also create something online? So I wanted to build businesses, right? And just super interested in that. And we started a cafe, which didn't take off. It's called Nights Cafe with my friends. And then after that, there was 2, 3 other startups, all based on just video education on finance. And they didn't work out for some or the other reason. The one just before, the fourth one was Trade Academy, was built with Upstocks. That did well, but I think I was not mature enough. I didn't understand how to lead the company. And because of me we had to dissolve that company because like I probably didn't have the vision to actually take that forward. But it got decent traction. It was video. You can maybe search for Trade Academy and see some videos today also.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I need to look at LearnApp also, man, like more in detail because I'm definitely bad in trading. That's something I need to learn myself.
It was 2014 or 15, I think. And I'm on Z Business promoting my company, Market Scientist. Okay. Market Scientist is renamed LearnApp. Okay. How we got to television is a completely different story. Walked in, asked, do you know a producer called Ankit? And there was no producer, Ankit. I assumed there'll be someone. And then someone walked out and he said, Ankit's not here today. I'm his replacement. I said, hum kuch baat kar rahe the. Look, I speak very well and I can teach and I can give calls. So can you put me on the scene? They said, okay, we'll do a call. If your call is good, then we'll call you to the studio. We'll mention Market Scientist and aapko promotion. And the interesting thing is, Shashank, was that while I was there, I said, okay, how do I gather like interest from people? Because there's so many other analysts and I'm there for like 5 minutes. So Hindi channel tha, so I would literally say, Namaskar, log, welcome India and good morning and be very, very stylish. And people would turn around. And at that time, Raghu from Upstocks was in Mumbai in the dressing room waiting for him to go next while I was in Delhi. And he turned around. He's like, who's this clown talking like this? And Raghu's this big shot, right? He's running Upstocks. So Raghu calls his team, is like, dude, there's this clown on TV right now called Prateek. I want to talk to him. I think he's hilarious. So that's how I spoke to the Upstocks team. And I think a few days later, they reached out and they said, you should build something. And they're just amazing set of folk. And then at the same time, I had already sent a proposal to Nitin from Zerodha saying, I think we should build an academy together. I love that you're building a discount this thing. Let's do it. So they just by chance, both of them reached out together. So met both of them. I met Nitin for lunch back then. And for some reason, things happened and had to start somewhere. So started with Trade Academy with Upstocks. That's how I knew both of them from 2014.
Wow.
It's just that I met him again in 2018, and then LearnApp started. But this time it was not attached to a single broking company, right? So we're not attached to Zerodha or something, right? We're a separate company which just does financial education.
Yeah.
And we work with multiple banks, multiple brokers. So basically, what's LearnApp, right? LearnApp is a financial education platform started by Ankush Oberoi, Swati Sharma, Sohail, who looks after technology, and myself. We started in 2018. We are in 2021 now. So about 2.5 years, we have more than 2.5 lakh registered users. And just people keep coming back again and again. I think more than 50% of users resubscribe. And it's just focused on just finance, right? So personal finance, investing, and trading. The way we get users is just partnering with multiple brokerage companies, multiple banks, multiple fintech companies, because they're opening accounts, Shashank, but they're not specialized in activating them, right? They don't know how to use the platform. They don't know how investing works, how trading works. So if we are good at that, it's a marriage made in heaven.
Yeah.
Because that's all we do. And we're data driven, right? So I'm a trader, which means I have zero emotion. We only have data for everything, like your entry price or exit price. So it's the same thing in product, which Avalon also probably does, right?
Yeah.
Everything is product driven that we do at LearnApp. Right from the videos we build to the comments we get, everything has analytics. And based on that, we build the product that we have, right? When to send push notifications, we actually have a chart of when it works well and when people would use it, etc. Right? So it's extremely data driven over here. So we will delete courses if they don't meet one of our 45 metrics on course completion rates. It's that data. And people don't see that, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. One cool thing here was the initial idea for LearnApp is just me teaching a bunch of courses. And someone very wise told me, this is a horrible idea. This is not going to work. So I said, okay, what if we got the smartest people in the world to come and teach? And I created this Photoshop. So back in school would be a graphic designer. So I created this me and Ankush created this page with just 10 really smart people and said, if these guys teach, would you learn? And they all manage billions of dollars, including the CEO of Motilal Oswal, Ramdev Agarwal, etc., and a lot of other people. And everyone said, yeah, this idea is interesting.
But karoge kaisa?
Huh. And we literally went to those CIOs, just removed their photo and replaced it with someone else and said, in sab log ka hum approach kar rahe hain, would you also teach us? Would you also be part of this? And they all agreed.
Oh.
So that's how we got our first 10 mentors on LearnApp.
Was it easy to like sit with them and shoot? Because they're all busy people, I'm assuming, right? Extremely busy people.
Yeah, that's the toughest part, right? So
Yeah.
I'll give an example. Ramdevji, tremendous respect for what he's done.
Yeah.
He spent a total of, I think, almost 32, 33 hours doing that one course, including his analyst team building the content with us and doing the case studies and figuring out the balance sheets and how he'll teach the examples and how analysis is done. I mean, he put a tremendous amount, and most people would put that amount of effort. So we're very blessed that way. So that's a little story of how like LearnApp sort of started.
Amazing, man. This was your entire journey from where you started from the age of 17 trading to what you're doing right now with LearnApp. And are you still trading? Are you still a day trader?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I used to place manual orders before.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem with trading or even investing is executing on time.
Correct. Entry exit point. Yeah.
Even for investing, right? If you don't rebalance on time, etc., you can have problems.
Yeah.
Which is why you need a money manager, etc. So how you solve that is by automating it, right? So in trading, you can automate. So to automate, you need to quantitatively decide what your entry, exit, stock selection, etc. is.
Everything, yeah.
Right. And based on data and numbers, you place orders. So now it's no more like a hammer, pattern, triangle. Of course not. You can't quantify that.
Yeah.
So you increase price, you quantify it. You can take that quantification, you can test it over the last 20 years and see whether it worked on a large sample size.
Correct.
And if that makes sense, then you know your win-loss ratio, out of how many trades, how much money would you make? What's the losing streak? What's your worst case scenario? How much did you lose the most? How much did you make, etc., etc. So you have a set expectation of what I can make from trading based on data and not a hunch.
Yeah, of course.
So everything is then back tested and it's placed automatically. Orders are placed automatically via an API.
Yeah.
So yeah, trades are placed every day.
Is this your own API or do you use some external service like how Sensible has their own back testing software? Is it something like that or is it your own kind of API that you have built?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we started our Algo trading like 5 years ago. There were there's nothing there. So everything is I have two quants and they develop and we build the algo and it's just code. There's no platform, it's just code and the Node.js just executes it for us,
This is very interesting because I know for a fact a lot of people in the market are talking about algo trading and they're getting scared of algo trading for some reason, right? Because when as you mentioned in the podcast itself, you said that when I trade, I'm a robot, right? Which is, very easy for other people to say, but it's very difficult when it comes to execution because there are 10,000 variables that are eating your psychology, right? I remember one small incident when I used to, and I started learning trading. I didn't know at all. I was learning online from different people, trying to understand what strategies were. And I think before like around 10:30, when I should take a trade in the morning, I think before 12, I would hit my stop loss. I used to always put these programmatic trades, which is stop loss and target, bus, finished. But if it hits the stop loss, the ideal thing would be like, okay, wait for the next entry or don't trade for that day. But then you go into this mode of recovery. No. How can I be in loss today? Let me try one more bet. And I have gone into that spiral many, many times. And I keep educating people telling that you should be a robot, right? And because I know that's the thing. I know that is the case. But when I'm actually in that situation, everything goes against you. And I think algo trading helps with that if I'm not wrong, right? Again, can you shed some light? Is it expensive to do algo trading? You said you have two quants. Are they incentivized by profit share or are they actually like paid on an hourly basis? How does it even work? I don't have any idea about this.
I mean, my setup will be very different from most people. So my setup is like they're salaried and they just work. But I'll tell you what it generally should be. You shouldn't take any trading decision, right? When you're in experiment and research mode, you can build the strategy, you can change variables. But once it's locked in and you put in money, right? You are never deciding when to exit, when to enter. Like it's on full autopilot, right? Which means this test has to be perfect, right? Because you don't want to automate a system losing you 1% every hour.
Of course. Of
Right.
course.
And I think people are getting ahead of themselves.
Hmm.
Like when they say, I want to algo, I think first you need to understand how the financial market works. Then you need to understand your personal finances, get your insurance straight, your like all of that straight, right? Like your investing should be super done, your personal expenses, your what's that when you keep money for a long period of time?
Emergency fund, your
Yeah, your emergency fund done. So all those basics should be done. Then you have your goals. Then you invest based on those goals. Then if you have money left, most people won't survive this far.
yeah.
Right. Then you invest in actually learning how stocks work, how trading works, how strategies work. Find a strategy that works for you, and then think about algo trading. Right. I think that's really far down.
Yeah.
That's like saying I want to buy an aeroplane and then fly it on autopilot.
Wow.
Dude, can you first learn how to fly the airplane manually?
That's a perfect example of trading, to be honest. There are so many variables. Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't think anyone should algo. If he's asking what is algo trading, please don't algo trade.
Yeah. I think because it's cool from an hedge fund perspective, right? You've heard these hedge funds, you see it in movies, everyone's got this amazing algo and sab kuch ho raha hai. And when you hear retail investors doing algo trading, you're like, dude, definitely that guy's an edge over all of us because he's algo trading. Now, his algo might be bad or might be shit as well. Who knows, right? But we don't know. But it's cool that, oh shit, he's an algo trader. So I think, yeah, your recommendation is first learn how to fly the plane, then make a system to understand how to fly that and put it on autopilot.
I think most people are good with investing, right? Like if you can just nail investing over a long period of time, you have a huge edge over people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And if you're still interested in trading, okay, but be willing to put in the amount of effort into it, right?
Yeah.
People think algo trading is this knob that it's not that, right? You got to put effort to learn it. But of course, if it works, then it really works.
Wow, this is you should do one episode on algo trading. I would say, like, what is
very specific. I can actually teach a strategy. Like, I'd love to do that.
So because I know for a fact when I talk to a lot of people, right, they want to know what this is. I mean, first of all, they don't know what it is. Okay, they know it's a computerized program which is in and out, but you don't know how it works internally. Right? People have never seen it. They don't know how it looks from the inside, and I think people will be shocked because it's not that it is complicated, but it is a set of predetermined rules and functions given to a computer to execute with a buy and sell entity, which what you do manually with your brains and analysis, and you think it's right, which you might be right many times. But here there's no luck factor. It is predetermined rules, right? I think that is something people who definitely want to know what algo trading is. Just a quick.
Yeah, it sounds good. I could share my screen, show how it works, see how the orders are placed. Yeah, we could.
Definitely. That's like the need of the hour because everyone wants to know what's behind the cloche, right? It's something like that. So that's something that's happening.
You just do three things, right? Since you asked, what do you need to do algo trading? I just to feed curiosity, you need a computer. You need an AWS account because you want orders to be placed. You need a set of code and an API connected to it, and that's it. So basically, it's not. You got to pay for the API itself connected to the broker. And if you're using data to like do tests and stuff, you got to pay for the data and that's software. But if you know the strategy, then it's not. I mean,
I think many people didn't know this itself. The AWS with the API. I didn't know this, to be honest. Right? I didn't know this at all. But yeah, amazing. Now,
one last thing, Shashank. So, like the way I trade, it's not only intraday. Intraday, there's a medium term, and then there's long-term investing, which is also coded, right? So,
really.
Yeah. So that you'll get about a few trades, investments, or I like calling them trades, every few months.
How do you do that? Is it on technical indicators or is it on a fundamental base?
Both. So the stock selection is based on fundamentals. So you find companies with high ROCE, good companies growing who are investing cash flow for debt, etc. So you find not multi-baggers, but good companies there. Free cash flow is my thing. Low debt is my thing. I have that list of this thing. Then based on price, which is demand, you enter and exit stocks. And you should talk about this actually. It'd be great to talk
Again, this is automated because I'm now entering a zone where I'm getting excited. What is this?
Fully automated. And we've created one on crypto as well. You get 2 trades a month max. And it basically reduces your drawdown. So get this, right? If you buy and hold BTC or ETH, etc., it's a 95% drawdown. So 1 lakh dala, 95,000 ka possible loss hai before it rises. But if you follow this one system, and it's not a magic system, you can also create a system. you would lose a maximum of 35% according to the system stats. That's interesting, right? That you're buy and hold also, you believe in crypto maybe, but you're also able to exit if a crash happens. That's cool.
I'm a little mind blown, and my brain is moving with 100 pieces, because fundamental analysis being automated by a software obviously the parameters are there, it's definitely possible, but I take so much time to read each and every one.
But I love your analysis, man. I love watching your videos.
But I keep telling people, right? For people who don't have an automated platform, right? For the people who do it manually, a lot of people, okay, this is one thing that I want to start another topic, right? After COVID, we saw this record rise of demat accounts being opened, right? A lot of new investors who have never seen the stock market in the past, who've never seen 2007, 2008, never seen post 2008, are coming into the market right now. Perfect time, because it was also a bull rally, right? Because it fell in March 24th, 2020, and then it just shot up by 100%. The index shot up by almost 100%, right? Yeah. And a lot of people entered at that point. A lot of people had friends who used to call and be like, "Acha, sunna, just buy this stock." And everyone was like, "Acha, those bol rahe kharidne ke liye kuch na kuch kiya hoga." They have the stock market guy. And everyone thinks this is how Sensex is, or everyone thinks this is how the market is. Ki andar paisa dalo, wait for 2-3 months, and you're getting what easily around 10, 15, 20% if you're smart enough. And then people said, this is not good. 10, 15%, kuch bhi nahi. I'm investing 10,000, getting 1,000 at the end of the year. Kya hai? Not good. Then we saw crypto coming into the picture. Then people are like, acha, isme to 24/7 market hai, and 100% in a day. There are some coins going 1,000. And then that whole Dogecoin fiasco happened, where I was telling people, boss, you're just gambling on someone's tweet, to be honest. Unless you're his friend and you know exactly when he's going to tweet what, I don't think you should buy it at that point, right? Again, that's my logic. But a lot of people bought that, no fundamental, no backup at all, right? But a lot of people also after that entered trading, right? Because they saw this, they saw that, they saw fundamentals, they saw this, and they wanted technical as well. And I don't know if you've heard about this in the industry, but there are a lot of these Telegram paid groups that help you with trading, and they don't teach you. They give you trades, right? Buy here and sell here. But it's a whole system, which I don't want to get into that. But learning has become difficult because it is slightly technical. But a lot of people are getting into it without learning. And when they enter that area, it is not like your crypto. It is not like your long-term investing. It is, I have, the way I've summed up trading, in my opinion, even though it's a very small journey, it's more about you understanding yourself when you're trading, to be honest, right? It's very, very, very difficult. Psychologically very heavy as well, because you can't just keep, everyone says, okay, take a trade, entry level, exit level, keep your phone aside. That's not possible, because you are a human. You will open and see, agar hit stop loss, you're disappointed. You have this bad mood. If it goes up, you're getting a dopamine rush. Yeah. Everything. What would you say for all the new guys who are investing right now? Right? I keep telling them, okay, educate yourself first before paper trade karna hai, nahi karna hai, asli cash se bhi karo, but educate first, right? But what would you say to the new people who are entering the trading space? A lot of them are coming in.
Yeah, I think the first advice is don't trade. I know I run an education platform. I should be the last person saying this, but it's true. You will 99.9% lose money. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And the market knows timing, which means you'll make money now, and in just one trade you'll lose everything. Yeah. And if you take average, you'll probably lose more. Yeah. So I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is you want to make money over a long period of time for your entire life versus making money for next week. Yeah. Smart. So can you think about, and I'm talking to the people watching this, can you think about creating a system of learning and implementation so you can reap the benefits even 10, 20 years from now, even when there's a bear market, by shifting between asset classes? Correct. Isn't that worth the effort to put in like 90 days or 60 days to learn? Of course it is, right? I hope people realize that if you can actually learn how system trading works, how systematic investing works, and just do that, then you're far better. Yeah. The problem is you're able to open an account so easily now. Yeah. Yeah. And no one's asking you, once the account's open, you can just place an order and it's placed. There's no education. I've seen people where they place an order and then they Google what is CNC and what is MIS. Yeah, that's crazy. That's happening. And I remember, I think a few years in the past, I opened one account earlier before all the platforms came up, was with HDFC Securities, right? And at that point it was, and mutual fund account at the same time, 24
pages had to be signed with a lot of disclaimers and everything to link your account to this. And now it is a 15-minute process, 5-10-minute process, getting shorter by the week. So that is something that it's great. I'm not saying it's bad. That's obviously something that's coming with innovation and technology. But yes, as you mentioned, educate yourself first. I mean, that is like the base that I would keep telling people as well, right? Whatever it is. And once you know, as you mentioned, right, once you know how to fly a plane, then think about put in autopilot. But before you learn how to sit in a plane, read the document. People take years to figure out a good system. And I've seen experienced traders telling me this, that, you know, all the data points that they've amassed over the years, these data points only helps them give better odds, right? There is no guarantee to success.
Completely right. Yeah, completely right.
I'm flying with 15 data points, so I have better odds of landing this plane. You're flying with 30 data points, you can land it much smoother. But again, there is still the risk of crash landing.
The tire can burst. Yeah, the tire can still burst.
Yeah.
Sure. Because I think you're running, at the end of the day, you're running a business. Yeah. Every business has risk, right? Yeah. Maggie didn't know that lead would be found there.
Yeah.
Patanjali didn't know that they would find XYZ. Like, of course, like when you're trading, you're also running a business. Yeah. And of course, you're not going to earn money every single month. Like, you might earn large amounts over a period of time spread over many years. Even if you're trading, Shashank, I'll give one other example. My best way to talk about trading is talk about the bad things. And if people accept it and they still enter, then they'll last. So I trade.
What are the bad things? What are the bad?
I'll tell you, I've been trading for a while and I trade every single day. I would say I've decently done this for a while. There have been times just very recently where up to 4 months, there is no earning. And the 5th month you make something.
Wow.
And this is not a surprise. This is completely normal. Yeah. If people understand distribution of probability, you don't have a normal distribution. So this is what a salaried person's looks like. And then there's a yearly appraisal.
Correct.
But for any business, right? Your business, my business, trading as a business, it's like this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So that's why returns over companies, when we see revenue over quarters and years and not hours.
Yes.
Right. So the same way you will have good months, good quarters, a string of great months. So it's not normal distribution.
Wow.
So people need to even if you're trading every day, doesn't mean you'll make money on a weekly or a monthly basis.
Insane, man. Okay. Last question. How would you connect the dots in the future? What do you see what do you think is happening in the future? With respect to LearnApp, how do you think the future is playing out in this space?
So I think financial education and just finance in general, right? Like generally people are unbanked. People don't trust banks. They don't have bank accounts. They don't understand investing. It's going to become a normal part of life around the world. This is not only an Indian problem. It's a problem across Southeast Asia, a problem across the world that economies grow, but people's incomes don't.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And a lot of developed countries are investing via other routes, via the pension funds, etc., and 401ks, etc. But it's not true for India, etc. So I think a lot of people will have more bank accounts. They'll be investing themselves. I think that's the way the world is going. I think a lot of people are financial education will become mandatory in schools and colleges. What we're doing right now will seem very, very basic, will seem very, very obvious in the future that, of course, financial literacy should have started back then. Of course, it's part of school, and CBSE just made it mandatory as well. So I think it's just this one theme, right, that we all believe in, that this changes lives. This can change the generation ahead. And we just want to ride that wave, right? That if a lot of millions of people can learn how to invest and trade better around the world, not only India, I think that would be an interesting story. So I think
are you going to expand on the learnings as well, like diversify into more categories?
I think business, etc. It wasn't very popular. And I mean, it was fun as an entrepreneur myself. I loved doing it. But I realized finance is so deep, Shashank, like there's so much to be done. We've not even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
So imagine this 2% market, only 2% of India is investing. This becomes a 10%.
Yeah.
America's 50%, and it becomes 30%. Like there's going to be 1 or 2 players who are dominating this space, right? So it better be us.
No, that's insane, man. I mean, it's amazing talking to people who are on the same page and understanding what's happening in the market right now. It's very difficult for a lot of people to see what's happening in the ecosystem, and I think what you're doing is incredible. It's tremendous, and I would say by far this is one of the best interviews I've had. I'm only at 3, but I would still say this is by far the best, because I know there was a lot of learnings here, right? And not only for the audience, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of learnings for me, and I'm going to ping you after this and ask you, how did you do this? Can you please help me out? Because
Yeah, for sure, man.
when you told me that fundamental analysis, easy picking, and I'm like, kitna time waste. I'm spending so long trying to figure out. I didn't know there was a way to do that. But again, this is incredible learning. And again, I want to thank you. Thank you for this. Any last parting thoughts you have before?
No, man, nothing at all. Just thank you for inviting, man. This is just super. Like, I've seen you on YouTube and seen your videos, and just meeting you in person is just fantastic.
Likewise. Likewise.